Good evening, everyone. Great to be here at the Kimsey Athletic Center and the home of the Kenna Hall of Army Sports. We're proud to welcome with great excitement the 18th class into the Army Sports Hall of Fame here tonight. A round of applause for 18 years and 5 tremendous inductees. These former tremendous cadet athletes, a former coach, they've accomplished such great things, all here in the same room. Before we begin, we'll go over the schedule for today. After the inductees speak, we'll unveil the plaques for the class of 2022. Family and friends, you can come back all weekend. The Hall of Fame will be open to take pictures and make sure we'll get a lot of pictures here after today's ceremony. It's such a happy time, and I know it's such a milestone time for all of our inductees and their families and friends. I'd like to introduce dignitaries here with us today, the 61st Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Steve Gilland, first Hall of Fame as Superintendent. And of course, Army Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mike Buddy. Mike, thanks for everything you do for this department each and every day. And also our family members, distinguished visitors, what a great day we have in store. And with that said, I'd like to welcome to the lectern Army's Athletic Director, Mr. Mike Buddy.
It's never easy to follow the voice of the Army Black Knights. It's interesting, as I stand here, I'm looking at the Commander-in-Chief trophy behind us. We had a question at the earlier briefing asked why there was only one of the 3 service academies mascots that were visible. The other 2 are under cover right now so that we can focus on the job ahead. But let me echo what Rich said. Congratulations to our inductees. And to the family and friends who made the journey, made the effort to join us here tonight, thank you. This is a very special time. It's unique. It's humbling to be inducted into any Hall of Fame, but to be inducted into this one, it's wonderful that these men and women can share that with friends and family who have been supportive throughout. So to Ron and Randy, Leslie, thank you for being here, for your father, Peter. To Don and Maurice, a sincere congratulations to you all. This is one of my favorite events of the year. And sir, to have the superintendent make this a priority to be here with so many things going on, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your leadership. I'm excited to continue to serve under you, so we appreciate you being here. The reason this is one of my this is my favorite event that we do. We're going to go to dinner, and it's going to be wonderful, and the lights will be bright, and we'll get to share and celebrate these incredible athletes publicly, but this is a special place. This hall, if you haven't had a chance to walk up and down, the ghosts and the legends of Army athletics live here. And so it is a humbling opportunity. To become a West Point cadet is incredibly difficult. They are held to a higher standard. They make sacrifices and have discipline unknown to civilians like myself. To be a West Point cadet athlete and compete at the Division I level is another standard deviation apart from the normal walk of life. To be elected to the Hall of Fame amongst all of those phenomenal men and women is truly a remarkable accomplishment. So this hall has Heisman Trophy winners, 4-star generals, astronauts, national champions, Olympic gold medalists, and now 5 new family members. So it's a special night. It's a special weekend. Enjoy it. Savor it. And thank you all for being here, and thank you all for attending. Let's celebrate these 5 incredible athletes.
Thank you, Mike. And now it's time to hear from our inductees. At this time, we'll welcome each member of the class of 2022 to say a few words. We begin with Ronald Wilfred Basil, cross-country, track and field head coach, and a mentor to so many. Coach Basil, please take the lectern.
I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for my selection to the Hall of Fame. I'd like to congratulate the fellow nominees of this year's class. It's been a whirlwind. There's so many people to thank along the way. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Dean Smith of the Academic Board for my appointment as head coach of track and field and cross country, and actually being the first African American to be appointed to such a task. For that, I thank you. To my children, Lance and Tammy, thanks for not making any foolish mistakes growing up that it would have resulted in Mom and myself being embarrassed and embarrassing the academy. Bonnie, thank you for everything you've done, for tolerating my inability to stick to the budget, buying clothes and cars. But more so, thank you for being a great host or hostess for our pre-R day receptions, quarters visitation, where we had 15, 20 of our recruited athletes at our house for pizza. Thank you for being, I guess, a wonderful host, making a house on campus a home for our extended family. There are so many other things. This appointment, this selection to the committee has started a whirlwind of things. I've had Zoom calls, FaceTime responses, telephone calls, athletes calling and saying, "Coach, we're in Georgia, can we come by and see you?" We talked, we laughed, stories were told, and it made me warm inside to the point where I said, that really wasn't me. The point, in fact, is that the program and your experience is more about you. In other words, we try to develop a situation where you were challenged, where you were energized, were excited, and really had a sense of enjoyment, especially in comparison to some of the things that occurred during a normal academic day. All right? The result of this was that if you bought in to what we were attempting to do, you became committed, you're selfless, and you contributed to my being here today. This was about you. It's always been about you. And some of you guys have laughed and joked about some of the things I might say, the glib remarks that I made, and I think we'll leave you with one or two. We know how cerebral distance runners are, and this is a fill in the blank. Blank. Will you please forget about what's going on in your head today and just grab your heart? The other is the difference between champ and chump is you, and that's all we ever preach. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Basil. That's tremendous. Next up, a legend on the soccer pitch from the class of 1975, Philip Randolph Nelson.
I became the first plebe soccer player, or plebe, I should say, because it was in the fall, to be on a varsity team since the Korean War, where they made plebes play freshman ball and everything. I was the first one. Joe Pallone, our legendary coach, my mother came to every game, and Joe Pallone would come over to my mother, give her a big kiss, and then say, "Marge, we have the same problem. Your son." And they would laugh and commiserate and everything, but the only game she never came to was the Air Force games, but otherwise she was a traveler, and that was great. And Joe Pallone always treated her royally. And it was a day when we were playing a championship basketball game, it's true, in Section 9, and Joe Pallone was the coach, and Joe was the referee. And Joe comes up, and I'm at the foul line, and we're getting beat by 35 points or whatever. And he says, "So where are you going to go to school next year?" And I go, "I don't know, probably Carolina." And he goes, "I'm going to get you an appointment." And 2 weeks later, I had a nomination. 2 weeks after that, I went to the hospital and had my physical. And then I had an appointment, and after that, you get swept into that suction cup West Point that says, oh, I want to leave every day. I can't go. I don't want to go back. I never want to go back. And then you finally make it through there, and then you realize that as an individual, you're now in service of your country and looked up to by so many wonderful soldiers. Now, I got out early because the Army wasn't a real good place in the late 70s. And it wasn't attractive and things like that. But I went back to work as a civilian selling communication batteries to the government, to Fort Monmouth and Fort Gordon. And going around and training the soldiers and Marines was a true honor. And to see those guys today, they are just, they're probably like cadets when I was starting, except they're privates and they're PFCs, and they know so much, and they work so hard, and they're so loyal. And we get to lead them. And some of us, we lead them in the service, and some we can lead outside the service, but as civilians. But it's an honor to have all that. And I just played soccer, okay? So I enjoyed my career and everything else on that. And I own nuclear weapons, and I did some devastating things. But family, coaching, and my teammates, who I'm just a reflection of them, because you don't do anything by yourself. And whether you're in a platoon or a company or a brigade, or you're on a team, it takes everybody to do what you need to do. So beat Navy, please beat Villanova, okay?
Thank you, Reddy. That was tremendous. Congratulations. Next up, first team All-American in 1985 and part of Army's first two bowl teams, 1984 and 1985. From the class of 86, Donald Eugene Smith.
Wow. I always thought that I was never really that good, that I just was part of a fantastic organization and had a group of teammates that loved to win. I guess the reason I got the recognition is probably because I was a little bit better looking than everybody back then. And so the press got not only a good story about football and academics and leadership, but they also got some good photo opportunities. And if I look at my brothers right now, Kurt, Rob, John, Rob, Tommy, I don't have a chance now. I don't have a chance now. I took a walk this morning. I walked out onto the 50-yard line and then walked up to U11. U11 has a special spot for me. When JY came as our coach, he made a point of no mistakes. And so he would actually hire umpires and referees to be on the field during practice. And if there was a fumble or a missed assignment or a penalty, you were up to U11. So U11 is top of the stadium, actually been branded U10. Dickerson, you've been up there so many times, they have your name still up there. All right, so so one of the things I had is I felt so comfortable there. I was comfortable on the 50-yard line. I was comfortable up on U11, although not real comfortable. And we looked down, and I had a lot of memories of my teammates. So really, this is about you guys. What we did back then was spectacular, and I'm so glad to have been part of it. I felt really comfortable on the field. I don't know how comfortable I feel up here in the recognition, because it is all about the team. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Buddy, for this opportunity. I'm very grateful for this. Thank you.
Congratulations, Don. Next up, a 7-time All-American from the class of 1954, swimming and diving, Peter Franz Wittereed, represented by his daughter, Leslie Late.
I'm not much of a public speaker, so I wrote something. I'm very touched to be accepting this honor on my father's behalf. He would have been thrilled to have been here and probably overwhelmed by the recognition, though I'm sure he would have basked in the glory of it. Being a swimmer, and more importantly, a West Point graduate, was a source of immense pride for him. He had many fond memories of both. An element of that lives on in my sons, who looked up to his many accomplishments, some of which were captured in photographs that we treasure to this day. Our boys, in fact, were also swimmers and admired their grandfather's achievements in the sport. It was a bond between generations, with my dad later in life cheering them on at swim meets. Today, my husband and I got to walk around the campus, and we were struck at its beauty and the importance for our country. I could see my father as a young man here, much like the young men and women we saw this afternoon, getting the schooling and confidence to embark on the journey of his life and become the man that I grew up with and whom I love very much. I know he would have been incredibly happy to have been mentioned alongside this impressive group of Hall of Fame inductees. My mother also wishes to convey her gratitude for this honor, and fortunately, at the age of 89, the travel from coast to coast is a bit difficult for her. Thank you for this recognition and honor. It means so much to me and all of our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. And it's so interesting when I meet a cadet, a graduate, how transformative a West Point education is and a West Point experience, and that carrying over to be a member of the Army Sports Hall of Fame and seeing that really just impacts generations. Well, last but not least, from the class of 2002, authoring one of the great seasons in Army wrestling history, Anthony Maurice Worthy.
Wow, you know, it's really humbling being up here. First, congratulations to all the other inductees. You know, I just feel a little bit overwhelmed. It's kind of been, you know, kind of a long road to get here. You know, I ended my career 99 and 12, so I think we can count this as my 100th win. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very grateful that my grandmother, my parents were able to make it here, and you know, share this moment with me, as well as my beautiful wife Michelle, and my 4 kids. We got Zoe, who's my run-in princess. We got Mo, who's right here taking pictures, and we got Christian and Isaac there in the back. You guys are gonna have to, you know, keep some space open for them. So I got my first championship, well, first state title, way back in the day. I was 10 years old, 70 pounds, and I was the man. I beat the kid 8-6 in the finals. I was on top of the world, and you know, I got to relish in that victory for a very long time. But this little joker right here holding the camera, he just won his first state title this past year at the same age and same weight that I won mine. Except he didn't, yeah. He didn't win 8-6 in the finals, though. He won 15-3, so he showed that up. So if any wrestling recruiters in here, you need to talk to that one right there. So, yeah. You know, this award, you know, when I found out I was getting honored, really grateful for getting that call, and it just a bit overwhelmed and flooded with memories of so many of the athletes that might not be on the wall with me, but definitely share a place in my heart and played such an important role in my experience here at West Point and also in my development as a person. And I thank you for the opportunity just to reminisce and walk down memories lane and think about all the people that contributed to my life. So I started a wrestling club, you know, a while back to try to get my boys going and also to develop some of the wrestlers in the community. And I called the club Legacy because, it's really, really important to me. It's all about legacy. And our motto was, how will you be remembered? So that's really, really important to me that we push that and that I continue to push that on my kids. My father, he really pushed that in us. And I just thank you all who played a part in this induction for giving me the opportunity to add to how my kids and my family will remember me. So thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. Well, how about one more round of applause for the Army Sports Hall of Fame class of 2022. At this time, we're going to move things just to the back left as Mike Buddy, along with Deputy Athletic Director Chris Fowler, will handle the official unveiling of the plaques for our Army Sports Hall of Fame class of 2022. Please fill in and we'll see the plaques being unveiled.
Randy, you want to have your... Yeah, could you get our names on?
Oh, that's sweet. Oh my gosh.
I don't know where to look.
So, are either one of these yours?
Oh, Raj. Thanks for talking. All right, let's go next one. Okay. Okay, let me do another one. Don't move.
You look over here for this one.
Baby, pass the ball.